His wife kept having anaphylactic reactions to him, so he started a life-changing home renovation. Imagine not being able to hold your wife's hand or watch television sitting next to your husband in case you give them an allergic reaction that lands them in the hospital. It seems unfathomable, but for one couple, it's a harsh reality. And Scott and Joanna Watkins' relationship is far from that of the average married couple as a result. Still, things were considerably more normal at the start of the Minneapolis natives' relationship, and that continued to be the case until the day that Joanna started to exhibit some unusual behavior. Bizarrely, Joanna began to cough whenever Scott was near her. That was definitely not an ideal situation for a young couple in the throes of a new relationship. And as it turned out, Joanna's symptoms indicated something far more alarming than just a minor allergy. In fact, her illness got so bad that she started suffering from anaphylaxis, which causes her throat to partially or entirely close up. Naturally then, this was serious. And understandably, the couple wanted a medical explanation as to why Joanna was suffering in this way before things worsened. But Joanna's plight baffled doctors, and incredibly she was given 30 different medical diagnoses before the professionals finally determined which condition she had. This revelation, moreover, came a staggering 3 years after Scott and Joanna married. It turned out that the cause of Joanna's health problems was mast cell disease, and it would change the couple's lives forever. Mast cell disease is triggered by the mast cells in the body's bone marrow. These cells form part of the immune system and usually do their jobs by fighting off any potential illness. In individuals with mast cell disease, however, the mast cells are triggered more frequently and in greater quantities. And the chemicals they produce as a result to tell the body that there's a problem can lead to symptoms including coughing, fainting, nausea, and even the throat closing off entirely. Unfortunately, Joanna's case is particularly severe, with more than 100 different things causing her body to react. Even a certain smell can trigger an episode. Indeed, Joanna's illness is so serious that she's been hospitalized more times than we care to count, according to a GoFundMe page set up by the couple in order to help with the cost of her care. Furthermore, the condition means that Joanna lives a far from normal life. In fact, it's completely taken away the possibility of a regular married existence for her and Scott. Joanna's allergic reactions to her husband mean that it's dangerous for them to share the same space. As a result, then, they're forced to live separately. Intriguingly, though, Joanna doesn't exhibit any serious symptoms around her brothers and sister, and this stroke of luck has meant that they, rather than Scott, have become her main carers. Joanna's husband, meanwhile, has only been able to come into contact with his wife when taking her to doctor appointments or the ER. And as there's no cure for mast cell disease, Joanna's doctors were forced to experiment with her treatment. Sadly, although they tried multiple different medicines in order to alleviate the severity of her illness, nothing worked. The next step then was chemotherapy, but not even chemo cured her from her bizarre and isolating disease. Meanwhile, from the outside, it didn't look like there was much Scott could do to help his wife. Still, that didn't stop him from trying. After all, as he would note in February 2017 interview with Minneapolis-based Fox affiliate KMSP, he is still totally committed to her. And what he has done proved just that, and then some. Before Scott delivered his incredible gesture, though, Joanna has been staying at a friend's house. She was living on her own in a bedroom that had been specially adapted to her. Even the windows and doors were altered to stop anything getting in that could cause her a reaction. However, her husband, who was residing in a different room in the house, came up with a cunning plan, one that, if he pulled it off, could revolutionize their lives together. 5 minutes down the road stood the couple's future home, and Scott was determined to make it both a safe space for Joanna and a comfortable dwelling for himself. Still, in order to achieve this dream, he would have to leave nothing to chance in terms of the safety features. Specifically, the downstairs area of the house, which was to be Joanna's, would be fitted with new furnishings and decked out with a fresh coat of paint. The area also needed to be pressurized in a similar manner to an airplane cabin to keep out any smells or allergens that could trigger Joanna's illness. And the plan was that Scott would live in an upstairs apartment so they could be as close as possible without actually living together. But there was one major obstacle in their way in particular. Specifically, the couple needed some serious financial support in order to make Scott's vision happen. So a GoFundMe page was established in order to raise money for the project. On it, the couple explained exactly the type of features Joanna's future safe space would need, and while at $146,000 the target was a lofty one, the donations would roll in. By February 2017, in fact, they were less than $13,000 short of their goal. And those generous donations and a whole year of renovation on Scott's part eventually paid dividends in February 2017, when Joanna was finally able to move in. Unfortunately, though, the transfer didn't go quite to plan. Joanna passed out when she arrived at the house. The smell of it overwhelmed her. Not long after her collapse, though, Joanna woke up and her siblings bathed her, and it was undoubtedly a testament of their devotion to their sister. Their mom would tell KMSP, moreover, that she's never been so proud of her children since they began to take care of Joanna. And none of this is how Scott and Joanna envisaged their lives together. According to their heartbreaking GoFundMe page, their future would have included a description of Scott teaching at Minneapolis Hope Academy and Joanna at home with their kids. But so far, this hasn't been the case. As a result of Joanna's condition and the setback with Scott's plan, then, their dreams are still up in the air. But it's a state of affairs that they've taken with grace. Their faith, too, is helping them get by. As their donations page reads, they believe that God showed us through His faithfulness, provision, and the support of others that His plans are better than ours. And whatever the future does actually bring for Scott and Joanna, it seems that the doting husband will support his wife every step of the way. What's more, even though Joanna's condition has forced them apart physically, Scott's affection for her hasn't dwindled. In fact, in an interview with People in November 2016, he revealed that not only are the couple still close, but heartwarmingly, that his love for his wife has grown. Our videos are now translated in Spanish. Link is in the description below.